Hello and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where today we're going to be doing another recipe that is very suitable for level 1 food storage ingredients that you may have stored. There are a couple of specialty items on this one that if you're going to adopt this recipe, you will certainly want to have in your food storage, and we'll get to those in just a moment. I just wanted to hold up this book. This is my sister Cindy and my book. This was actually the first one that we started on. It was the second one that we published because we published another one before we got done with this one. This one took us a year to write. It is called A Comfortable Food Security Plan for Uncomfortable Times. It is the most expensive one in our bookstore, but it has all kinds of information on how you can take meals for 2 weeks. That is 14 days of meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We give charts of ingredients, we give recipes, and we give how to get everything that you need to do 2 weeks worth of meals. And then the idea is that you take that same 2 weeks and you duplicate it and duplicate it and duplicate it until you have reached a year. And that is how you can turn 2 weeks worth of meals into a year's supply. We are really pushing the idea of level 1 and level 2 food storage now. We're going to be getting to level 3 here in just a few weeks, where we are going to share with you some of our ideas about long-term storage and what we think a better approach is than the most common approaches that you find out there. So we are all about food storage in these very difficult times. In the book, Cindy and I make the point several times that you can either use our recipes, or better yet, you can substitute your own recipes. Once you get the hang of how we break it down by ingredients and what we store for each of our recipes, you can do the same thing very easily for recipes of your own. And these recipes for food storage that we are presenting right now in a handout that I will put the link for down below, that you can just print out all of these recipes free, are the perfect recipes, if you like them, to substitute for some of the ones that we may have in our book. We believe that the best way to do food storage is to store the food that you eat, and then you eat the food that you have stored so it doesn't languish out in our food storage. Today's recipe is an easy one, it is a fun, and it is a very delicious recipe. Very easily substituted into that book, or if you are collecting your own recipes for favorites to add to your own binder for food storage ideas, this would be a good one to add. So these are the things that you would need to have in your storage to have this, to be ready to make this recipe. First of all, in your freezer, a bag of chicken wings. This has 18 pieces. It is 2.5 pounds. This says that it serves about 8. Yeah, if you only want 2 wings, it serves about 8. This many wings would do Jim and me for probably 2 meals, maybe 1.5. We'd have to split one. But these are frozen. We have several bags of these so that we can make these without going to the store every time we decide we want to have chicken wings. You need to have some oil. It's good if it is in a spray bottle, or you could even use the kind of oil that comes in the spray that you spray baking sheets with. Here are the chicken wings. Then over here, you will need to have some prepared sauce to go on it. Now, we don't particularly care for buffalo wings. We like barbecue wings, but whatever you like, get the sauce that will go on after the chicken is cooked. And then we have baking powder, salt, and a specialty item that is white rice flour. We get ours through Bob's Red Mill. You can get them one at a time from our grocery stores here, or you can order online for their package of 4. I can't remember if it's 4 or 6 in a case that they send. In any case, you can buy it in bulk online through Amazon if you wish. This is a very, very simple prep. In the package, there were 18 pieces, as I mentioned a moment ago, and I've had them out here on this rack with paper towels underneath so that they can get a lot of the wetness off. The first thing that I am going to do is to salt them. And I'm going to do it on both sides. This recipe is easy, but it does require turning the wings a couple of times. All right, so we have these all salted, and we're done with the salt. So the next thing we need to do is to take our rice flour, and I'm going to take a half a cup. We have made these now 3 times with this recipe. Once for my sister and her husband John, who came down to visit us for an afternoon. So here's a half a cup of rice flour and a half of a teaspoon of baking powder. And John and Cindy just loved these. Cindy said that John usually cooked their wings on his grill outside, and then after the meal was over and company had gone, he spent 2 hours having to clean the grill. This isn't anything like that. This is a quick and easy way to do it. Okay, so we have mixed the flour and the baking powder, and now we're going to just toss the wings in here. I'm going to do about half at a time. And we want these completely coated with this flour mixture. And I'm just going to put them on this baking sheet. I'm going to go ahead and start my combi oven on preheat, but I do want you to know that I'm not using any of the fancy stuff. It is right over there, just a countertop oven. I'm warming it to 437 degrees, which would equate to 450 in my regular oven. And it's just regular heat, no steam, no convection, just heat. And so this is easily transferable to whatever you may have as well. You could probably even do these in an air fryer if you have one. I really like how they turn out just under the top heating unit, almost like broiling. Okay, and then these remaining pieces will clean up the rest of this flour. And we put them in a single file on the baking sheet. And there's very little flour left. Then, before they go in the oven, we just spray them with some oil. This is avocado oil. You can use whatever oil you wish. And it's just a light spray of oil. This helps them be really, really crispy. And then we turn them once again. This will not be the last time that we turn them. All right, looking at my oven, it looks like we're about halfway through the preheat. So just as soon as the oven is up to temperature, these are going to go in. So we'll be back when that happens. So the oven is up to temperature, and I have made one change. I have put the wings on this rack that just happens to slide. This did not come with the oven. It happens to slide right in. And the pan that they were in, I've put below to catch the drippings. I do want these on a rack. If I were cooking them over in my regular oven, I would put this rack down in a baking sheet because it fits down inside a baking sheet, and that's how I would cook them. So in they go. And that's just smoke. not steam. Okay, now I'm going to start the timer. The timer is for 25 minutes. I'm going to come halfway and turn them. So I'll bring you back then. So while we wait for the chicken wings, we have a visit in our yard from what we think might be a wild turkey.
There's a clear shot of it. Going down our dirt road. So Pam is turning these over onto the other side, so the other side can get cooked like the halfway side.
All right, going back in for another 12 minutes. Okay, so I took it out about 5 minutes early because I checked the wings with my thermometer and they are already beyond 165, so they are done. So what we need to do now is to spread this barbecue sauce on them. And we'll do it both sides. And then put them back in for this to caramelize in the heat. And this is what makes these so, so wonderful. And just thinking about if we ever have to do these off-grid, there are several ways that we could cook these off-grid as well. So it's not a recipe just for the here and now. This is truly food storage recipe. We could use our propane oven, and lacking that, we could even set up our Dutch ovens to do this. Okay, so I'm going to turn these over and do the other side and get them back in the oven, and we will be back when they are done. Well, don't these just look delicious? That barbecue sauce has crystallized on every piece of these, and they were under the heat for a little while longer. And it smells fantastic. So to turn this into a meal for us, I will put several on each of our plates. And of course, we haven't eaten very well today. We had a bowl of Cheerios this morning, and that's about it. So we're both pretty hungry. We're probably going to polish off the rest of these. But one way to make these into a meal, we just serve it with celery sticks and then our choice of dressing. We both like blue cheese or ranch, and so we're going to put both of them on the table outside. We're going to eat outside. So there will be these celery sticks and the ranch dressing. Now, if we were in a situation where we had no fresh celery and just had to pull from our food storage something that we could serve with these, I would pull a quart of applesauce to go with these. We have tons of our home canned applesauce out there, and this would be a really good way to do it. So it will be very easy to make this in an off-grid situation. And if we are relegated to using only the things that we have in our food storage, and we have prepared our food storage for this recipe and other recipes as well. So the whole trick is to pick recipes that our families like, and then make sure we bring in the ingredients for several iterations of that recipe so that we can have enough food. Level 1 is to be prepared for 60 days of meals. So that's what this is right now. So thank you so much for being with us. This is a fun recipe and so delicious. I'm not even going to taste it because you could hear the crunch, and I would just go because we have tasted them a couple or 3 times in the last 2 weeks. We're pretty addicted to this recipe. So we will see you very soon for more videos.